It's 2021 in cryptocurrency and people still don't understand this term, stacking sats get rich. So hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new, please do subscribe. Hit that bell button so you don't miss anything and leave a like and a comment. Let this video fly, come on. I get asked this question a number of times. Like every single video that I mention, the BTC charting, people are like, what, why, confused. So we're going to do a full video on how to get totally filthy utterly rich in BTC values versus USD and why I do it, how to do it, and the way you can do it very, very easily. Already in Learning Crypto, my community online, people are building their satoshis, they are stacking the sats, they're getting very, very wealthy in BTC. The biggest common mistake, everyone looks at USD. USD is actually dying. Don't think you realize this. It's called quantitative easing. When money is pumped into a market, it dilutes it. Bitcoin is that hard money you cannot destroy. It is there. It goes against the hedge of inflation in that way. It's great. Sound money. It's scarce. It's transportable. It's rock hard, as in bulletproof. It can't hack it. There's no middleman. It's borderless. It's great. What isn't there to like about it? But no. We've got to go into USD values apparently and learn that way. But no. You're doing it all wrong. So, let me explain in very simple layman's terms. BTC dominance chart is the most obvious level of interest for me. Why? When the dominance chart is showing, and I'll show you this in a reason why, when this is going up, it would indicate that Bitcoin is more dominant than altcoins. Doesn't matter what you hold. Sometimes they just go on little black swan events and just do whatever they want to do anyways. But the majority of the market will be getting slaughtered. When we talk about bleeding sats, it means that Bitcoin is dominant and it is thrashing the living hell out of your altcoins, meaning you're losing satoshis. Yes, you may be growing USD prices, but you're only getting that from the BTC valuation. Most people don't know this, and this is one of the top facts that you should take away from this video. When you go onto a BTC chart of any coin, so a PI3 for example here, that is a true reflection or price of what Bitcoin is telling you what that asset is as a divided sum. So when you look on the likes of CoinMarketCap and you look at all these coins, so let's just say, let's go into Theta for example here. Remember, it is $11.70. If you take what the BTC value is of this and you simply put it into Google and you find out how many that Satoshi is worth, it tells you in exact sums there. Obviously the valuations are a little bit off because I haven't refreshed the page, but you get the idea. Let me do that again. There you go, it's a little bit closer. So when we start talking about what the price of an asset is, the true reflection price is, this is 10,640 Satoshis. That's what the valuation of that asset is. But no, to you guys, it may be easy going, well, it's $5.82. Well, yeah, it is, but when Bitcoin pumps, this will go down. When Bitcoin is sideways or goes down, it will usually go up, usually. However, depending on fundamentals and developments, this may pop, and so with the USD prices because it's growing at the same rate. So that's the one obvious level there. Another thing you need to worry about is obviously why Bitcoin. Bitcoin, when I first started in cryptocurrency, Tether wasn't a thing. There wasn't a thing called Tether. Yes, there was to put your money in, but the market cap was tiny and it wasn't on any exchanges. So anything that I did on Bittrex, Poloniex, and Bitfinex and stuff like that, it was all in the BTC pair. It wasn't in any of this kind of funky magic of all these different stablecoins. So when we're talking about stacking the sats, the game that you are playing is simple. You buy altcoins with Bitcoin up at these high levels. We're talking about alt season coming. Alt season was here. Buying your altcoins. This is how I play the game and it works very, very well. The reason why I say this is because when you start looking at the high levels of where the dominance is, your USD prices are going to be really high in the altcoins because Bitcoin is obviously dominant, but the USD prices don't reflect what the true value is of the asset, because a Bitcoin's going up in 3-4x's pretty quickly. The BTC side of any altcoin is going to be low. So when we start looking at what January time, we'll look at any asset. We'll look at KSM. Why not? January time on the floor, as you can see, right? So you can see how it just drops, gets low. Every single asset is low. Obviously this one not as low, but in December time still low because it was still dominant. IOTA, low. This is what happens when the dominance goes high, these go low. So how do you play the game? You use a ratio strategic method. What does that mean? Percentage of your Bitcoin will go into altcoins at those levels, and you take profit into Bitcoin when they start increasing. Buy low, sell high. But why is that dominance chart so important? Well, it's a bubble indicator. It's telling you one thing and one thing only. Oh my God, I should be looking at altcoins right now. Oh my God, I should be looking at potentially taking some profits right now, which I have been. So when we talk about dynamic here of like certain levels, yes, this could go a lot lower. But for me, oh, can I change that? There we go. For me, I've been gradually taking profits on certain assets. So for example, you may remember I took profits on VeChain, I took profits on Utrus, I took profits on Voyager, I took profits on Cardano. All made me severe amount of Bitcoin from very, very limited amount. I still hold a lot of my Zilliqa, I still hold a lot of my Polkadot, etc, etc, etc. But the game is to grow your Bitcoin. This is how you grow it. And when you start thinking a 20, 30, 40% move in the Satoshi values, that's a lot. When you think going back in time here, I've been in this space for a while. And for me, putting like one Bitcoin onto an altcoin back in March, April, May, just last year, it's not a lot of money, in my opinion. Sorry if that offends anyone, but Bitcoin was a lot lower then. And you think people are throwing 10, 20, 30 grand at these altcoins, and it's like not even a Bitcoin. It's scary when you think the compounding effect of that. So it's important to understand how the stacking of Satoshis matters. So when we start talking about Ethereum as an example here, January, low as hell. Hello, it's popped. But when you start thinking, people will be like, well, that isn't really much of a gain. Low to high, for example, is 98%. If you have one Bitcoin in there, right, at that point, let's just say theoretical kind of numbers here, you've just made 0.98 extra BTC essentially. You've literally doubled it, right? People don't understand that these Satoshis are going to grow over time with the scarcity, with the absolute certainty that there is only 21 million. The mining halving, the fact that it doesn't get hacked, the fact that it is used against and is getting used more and more now against inflation. Cash asset reserves are going into Bitcoin. So over time, it's going to be worth more. And one thing as well, it is less volatile holding more Bitcoin than it is altcoins, i.e. your Satoshi values will drop less. So stacking sats, it's relatively straightforward. Other things to obviously recall, obviously there's other visual kind of representations, obviously blockchaincenter.net here, not the greatest website in the world, it's a bit mishy-mashy, but at the same time it's a visual representation of what the analytical data is telling us, that a lot of the top 50 coins are currently outpacing Bitcoin, which is what we kind of want. There's always going to be movement in it, but Bitcoin is still king. But even if Bitcoin dumps, people panic. They really do panic. But if you look at the USD pairs, it's going to show that reflection because everything is priced in that divisional sum in USD versus the Satoshi levels. So if Bitcoin has a -5 day, your altcoins are going to experience the same thing, if not worse, because people panic. So it's interesting to know that. But obviously here, this is how I teach it, this is how I do it. So it's simple. When the dominance is low, you need to be in Bitcoin if it is starting to trend up. So that would indicate that a strong Bitcoin would become more dominant versus altcoins, therefore you're going to be losing Satoshis, even if you're gaining USD. But you're not making realistically money. You're not making crypto. Yes, you might be making money to pay off house bills, but the way to do it, simple way to do it, Satoshis will mean more when Bitcoin goes up. When Bitcoin is high in USD, you then take profit into stable currency, therefore you get more. There's been times when I look back in the past and I look at the likes of this, and if we put a compare chart on here, Ethereum USD for an example here, let me just find there we go. You can see probably very, very clearly, very, very soon, how it kind of changes as the USD price is going up and this is coming down, because Bitcoin is obviously dominant. Okay, it's important to understand that. And this happens on every single chart, they just go the opposite ways. But when you start thinking about bear markets and stuff like that, if you've got a load of stable currency and it's from a much higher point in Bitcoin, you're going to lose a lot less satoshis anyways if you are looking to take profit into a stable currency. The problem is people don't get it. There's times, and I've just alluded to it, if you go to the BTC dominance chart and you're looking at certain points, if you were buying altcoins here, you would be losing loads of Bitcoin. It would have been better off just buying Bitcoin. You wouldn't have made the same amount of gains, nowhere near, because of the price of that. So when people start going, oh look, I made a 10x in USD, well really? Yeah, cool, well done, but you've actually been helped by a 5x in BTC there. So you got to look at the numbers. Grow and stack your satoshis. Honestly, you'll thank me for it. And that's it. There's nothing more I can add, realistically. You literally buy when it's high in dominance in altcoins. You buy those altcoins with BTC at that point. You then, when it goes lower, you start taking profit into Bitcoin. Simple.